see you're home. Did you stay home for your birthday today?
No, I did not, but I didn't want to stay this late at the gym and then go back at 5 and get, cook dinner, get the kids down. So
Makes sense. Yeah, I was hoping you could take your day off.
I went home and I took a long nap, so that was something.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, it was unintentional. I just passed out, but it ended up being great. Okay, so we're going to go over the clearest, easiest, simplest instructions to set up a system so that you're going to continue to easily lose fat forever. And then what we're going to do is build on this every single week. So I'm not going to, if you guys want to share in the comment section the progress that you made since our last call, that'd be great. But starting now, this is the initial setup for the curriculum moving forward. And each week, if you jump on the call, you're going to update your stages of this. And this is how we're going to build. I'm really excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to go over just the key things and how to build them. And it's going to be as clear as anything could have ever been. So the 7s. These are, if you hit all these 7s, everything you do after that should be super, super easy. So the 7s are 7 hours of sleep, 70 ounces of water per day, 0.7 grams of protein per pound of body weight per day, 700 grams of veggies per day, 7,000 steps per day, and 70 minutes of exercise per week. And when we're done with this, I'm going to load up all the slides and the notes for you guys, so you'll have it right there. That's the 7s. For 7 hours of sleep, here's the steps that you take. Number 1, set a specific wake-up time. Determine what time you want to wake up every single day, because we said one of the keys to sleep is waking up at the same time every single day. Number 2, eliminate the bad stuff or swap stuff for pre-bed. So if you always watch TV in bed and look at your phone before you go to sleep, stop doing that. Swap it for something different. Read a book, journal, whatever. And then fix your environment. If you have a TV in your room, change it. Get it out of your room. If you don't have a dark enough room, if the temperature setting's not right, if the pillow's not right, start tweaking those little things every single day to start improving on your 7 hours of sleep. 70 ounces of water per day. First thing to do is drink a glass before you brush your teeth. That should be 2 glasses per day. When you brush teeth in the morning, when you brush teeth per bed. It links up those 2 habits. And if it's a regular old glass, you're probably getting like 10 to 12 ounces from each one. Number 2, drink a glass before each meal. So you're going to sit down for lunch, you're going to sit down for dinner, do the same thing. Assuming each glass is about 10 to 12 ounces, that's 40 or 50 ounces right there. You don't even have to go out of your way to change anything. And then number 3 is get a marked jug or a marked bottle that has the times and whatever it is as a reminder. 0.7 grams of protein per pound. Here's the easiest way that we're going to get you there. 1, eat eggs for breakfast. Problem solved. Number 2, add meat to it or a shake. Number 3, add meat and nuts or a shake before each meal. That's going to get you most of the way to your protein target. 70 grams of veggies per day. Number 1, buy a steamable bag of green vegetables. I'm going to suggest broccoli and green beans because it's a delicious combination. When you do number 2, steam it. Add some salt. Add a little bit of real butter if you can, if you need to. Add a little bit of real cheese. Add a little bit of bacon bits. It's delicious. Just get in the habit of eating the vegetables. If you load it with cheese and bacon and butter, it goes from lean and healthy, tips towards the other end, but the purpose here is adding the vegetables. We'll transition later, but those would be the 2 simplest and easiest steps that you could possibly take. 7,000 steps daily. If you're falling short of this, set an alarm. Every time the alarm goes off, get up and walk 100 steps. It will take you 30 seconds to do it, and it doesn't matter if you walk them in a circle. Number 2, walk 100 steps before and after each meal. So you've set them to another habit, which we'll circle back to. 70 minutes of exercise per week. 1, specify what exercise is for you. All of you come into the gym, so you know what exercise is. And you already hit this goal, but if you didn't, it would be as simple as I literally do nothing. So exercising for me is going outside for a 10-minute walk. And then you'd step it up from there. Pre-commit to when and where you're going to do it, and then use an implementation intention. This would be like, okay, I'm going to work out at X project Monday and Wednesday at 6:30. And then using the implementation intention is that you would literally write it down. So the pre-commitment would be register for the session, write it down, or notify somebody. That would be how to make that super simple, okay? Next step, or first step really, is to figure out which one of those 7s you're not hitting. If you're not hitting any of them, we'll work on all of them. If you're hitting some of them, you don't have to worry about it right now. Then we specify what success is and what failure is as we're making progress towards hitting the 7. So if I look at 7 hours of sleep per night, but right now I'm getting 5 hours and I sleep different hours every day, I would want to specify what success is on stage 1. And maybe that is just setting my alarm to wake up at the same time every day. Whether or not it's 7 hours is irrelevant. And then what would specify as failure? And failure means that you would stop doing it, you'd quit, and you'd move on. When we have people who try to start a habit, get into the gym, so it's like, hey, they're going to try to diet or exercising, and they specify the quitting point of complete failure ahead of time, they bounce back from the inevitable setbacks that happen. So somebody's like, I'm going to start eating healthy. I'm not going to eat bread anymore. I'm going to have salad every day for lunch. And then on Tuesday of the first week, they don't eat salad for lunch. And they're like, whatever, I'll start next week. That would be a terrible line for failure. If you were to determine what absolute failure would be, it'd be like, if I just didn't do any of it for 10 straight days, maybe I need a new plan. Then what would be success? Just doing a little bit better than you were before. So we'll do one that has easy numbers. If I'm getting 5,000 steps per day, what a success would be is to do 5,010 steps per day. That's a step forward. That's a big deal. If I'm getting 5,000 steps per day, failure would be if my number of steps reduced on average for a week. Okay? That would be the first thing that we'd want to do. And I think I skipped over, but this works right now too. Before we create the scoreboard, I'm going to add a slide for everybody. It's think about, review, and measure the massive and powerful impact of tiny gains. So I'm sure, because it's been very popular lately, you've heard about this. If you improve 1% per day through a full year, you're 37 times better at the end of the year than you were at the start. That is the power of a 1% improvement over time, because it compounds. The beauty of that is that that philosophy works all of the time and is popular and seen how effective it is when we look at the highly successful people that applied it and graduated to the next level. The reason that is great news is that none of us sitting here are at the world class elite level of fitness and fat loss. So us improving 1% each day is way easier. And if you improve 1% half of the time, so 3 or 4 days per week, at the end of the year, you're still between 5 and 10 times better by improving 1% half of the time, which is crazy. Because if you do no vegetables right now and you started eating vegetables at lunch and vegetables at dinner, that's more than a 1% improvement each day. And if you tweak a couple of things by 1% or a little bit more each day, in the end of a year, you're so much a different person. You went from where you are to a literal fat melting muscle building machine without having to do anything that doesn't fit with who you are, what you want, what you can manage. So understanding that very small improvements create a massive impact is something we want to think about. One, when we specify success and specify failure, we shrink it to something very tiny and aim for 1% gains. And then the next thing is create your scoreboard. So I'm going to stop this share so you can see me. I'm going to show you a scoreboard. Is that backwards in the camera?
Nope.
Okay,
Looks
awesome.
good.
So here's what I did. I wrote this coming Monday, October 19th. Then I wrote 2 weeks worth. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then I wrote the numbers. Monday is the 19th, 20, 21, 22. Okay. Now, if you buy grid paper, it's a lot easier, prettier scoreboard. But if you're not as OCD as me, this paper works. Then I wrote the one step forward that I needed to make. So I said I need to wake up at 4:30 a.m. every day. That's because I go to at 5 a.m. If you don't have to be somewhere at 5, waking up early isn't cool. Waking up when you would wake up is cool. So I said, wake up at 4:30 a.m., drink water with brushing teeth. So I'll drink the water when I brush my teeth. Eggs for breakfast. Eat bacon and cheese, broccoli and green beans. That's very easy. I didn't say just eat raw veggies. I added the bacon and cheese to make it super easy to do. Add 100 steps before and after lunch and do my workout. Those are the things that I specified were the first steps, but I took it another thing further. Wake up at 4:30 is every day, and drink water with brushed teeth is every day. And the reason is I wake up every day and I brush my teeth every day, so those should be an everyday thing. Then I said eggs for breakfast. If I had the rest of my pens, I would have written in this column here, every day, and then Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So I blacked out the spots. On Wednesdays, I don't have to. Weekends, I don't have to. I can do whatever I want. Eat bacon and cheese, broccoli and green beans. I was supposed to specify at dinner. And that would be weekdays. So that on weekends, if I'm going out, I don't have to worry about it. So pass. Take 100 steps before and after lunch. That's daily because I eat lunch every day. And do my workout. I said Monday, Wednesday, Friday. All the other ones were blocked off. This is my scoreboard. If I do good, I put a green check in the box on the day I did good. If I didn't do this, I put a red X. That's your scoreboard. That's all you need to do. Now, the beauty of this is it's going to give you a visual of what changes you're making, a very clear and simple pass-fail. So the standard is clear and low. You will know whether or not
We lost your audio.
What was that?
There, now you're back.
Okay. So with this, you will start to see a streak. The more often you see a streak, the more motivated you'll be. I've talked about it in the past. Action comes before motivation, and momentum is more important than motivation. All of these things don't require much motivation. The only thing that really requires a motivational push is to do my workout. But if you remember earlier, I registered for the session online, and then I told you guys I would be there. That's the pre-commitment and implementation intention. It's really hard for me to not show up at that point because you guys are already expecting me. There's the accountability. But now I'm going to go back and share the screen, and you'll see how I made that one even easier and even better. So we created the scoreboard. Now you're going to create a new identity and share it. One of the most underappreciated strategies and underappreciated in terms of how impactful it is your mindset. And your mindset is an extension of your identity. And I'm going to go in depth on this in the future, but the point is, if you have a positive outlook on the situation, you do way better. The positive outlook on a lot of situations, which we will use examples of studies, produces a better result than actual application of various things. The short example is they talked to a group of people that were aging. How healthy the group was as the years went by. The life expectancy for the positive outlook group as what they were going to be like when they got older was that they had about 7.8 years longer than those that had a negative outlook on aging. And that change was independent of physical factors, and that variance is greater than if you applied all of the physical factors. And the reason was that the people with the positive outlook made better decisions on average, more, longer, better than those that didn't. It extended from how you create an identity. So when I say create a new identity, you write it in this simple statement. I want to be, or I am becoming, or I am the type of person who, and then fill it in. And you can also make a list of your values if you want, but I'm going to use my scoreboard. And I'm going to choose what I think is probably going to be a key habit. And for me, that key habit is exercise. If I exercise, I sleep better, I eat healthier, I feel better, I'm more motivated. So that being the keystone habit that impacts the rest of them, I'm going to say, I'm becoming the type of person who doesn't skip my workouts. So it doesn't matter how hard I work out, how well I work out, how strong I am compared to anybody. I just don't skip it. It doesn't matter if I go as hard as I can or I just go through the motion slowly. Not relevant. I just don't miss it no matter what. So I write that statement and I share it. And I would share it with the people that matter. So maybe who I'm living with, partners in workouts, partners at work, or my coach. So you guys would share it with me. This is one of the assignments that you will have on the next call, is that you will share what that identity is. And you just pick one thing. And of course, this would grow over time, but I'm becoming the type of person who doesn't miss workouts is a qualifying clarity of an identity. And the second you share that with somebody, they now have that expectation of you. It's much harder for you to break mentally, physically, emotionally. It's a big deal. Next, you're going to design your environment. And it depends, obviously, on our scoreboard and our measurements for success and failure. But here's some examples of how I'm going to design my environment. 1, I watch TV before bed and I browse on my phone. So I'm going to take the TV out of the bedroom. 2, I'm going to set the timer on my phone that at a very specific time, all of the apps on my phone shut down. Now, obviously, I can go around it, but it's just creating a barrier. I'm less likely to do it. Tweaks my environment a little bit. Then I'm going to set alarm reminders for whatever it happens to be. The drinking. I'm going to set a glass at my sink next to where I brush my teeth. So even if I fill it up a little bit and drink it before I brush my teeth, it's a step forward. And it's linked right into an automatic habit I already have. The phone shutting off at a specific time is already linked to the fact that I'm on the phone. And then it notifies me, get off the phone, do something else before bed. It already loops those in. For breakfast, I'm going to pre-make everything I need to pre-make. I'm going to set the things I need for a shake out in front shelf, front of the refrigerator, eye level, ready to go, out on the counter, doesn't matter. I'm going to put all of the good foods that I want to eat in front of my face, in the fridge, in the pantry, everywhere else. I'm going to take the bad foods, and even if I'm not able to eliminate them, I'm going to put them somewhere else. So every day I eat a giant bag of candy. I can't stop buying the candy. That's fine. Put the candy in the top shelf in the garage in a box. So if it's an emergency, I need to go get it, I can. But the more barriers I put in place, the more likely I am to find an easier route to fix the problem. Usually it's an emotional response, a craving, I need a snack. I'm going to find an easier route when I just tweak the environment that way. And then this applies for the people whose family really wants things that you have a problem with. So I don't want to eat Pop-Tarts, but my kids eat Pop-Tarts. I buy Pop-Tarts, so then I eat a bunch of them, is one simple, stupid example. Then buy the Pop-Tarts, and the kids can have them, but they're in the storage unit in the basement. Kids, go down there and get them yourself, but they're away from me. I'm less likely to choose them. So I'm hiding away and moving the bad foods. Pre-cook everything that you need. So if I bought the vegetables, but I don't feel like cooking them before each meal, I'm going to buy a couple of bags. I'm going to make all of it on Sunday and portion it out. So before dinner, I make this. Then what loops that even easier is if I'm eating the broccoli while I'm fixing my dinner, because I fix my dinner every night, I'll just sync the two at the same time. Instead of fixing dinner, then sitting down, then eating the vegetables, I'll just chew on it while I'm cooking. So you link them together. Predetermine your schedule, write it down, and share it. And that means what I'm going to eat and when I'm going to eat it. If I'm going to take my steps, where am I going to take my steps? When am I going to take my steps? What's my route? When am I going to go to the gym? What's my route? What do I need? And you actually write down a schedule so it's physical in front of you. That's designing your environment. And we can get into individual specific ones as needed. Use the 2-minute drill. This one applies to everything, but it's most obvious with 2 examples. One is taking steps and going to the gym. The first 2 minutes of that, so I'm at home and I'm supposed to go to the gym, but I don't feel like it. Start the timer. I'm going to go through the first 2 minutes of what I would do if I were going to the gym. So I go upstairs, I change my clothes, I get my shoes, I get my bag, I go out the door, I lock the door, I get in the car, I turn it on. If I decide at that point, in those 2 minutes, that I'm still not going, then I get out and go. But I have to mark whether or not I did the 2-minute drill. Now, if people who really struggle have a ton of success when I tell them, on days you don't want to work out, don't, but still show up here. no matter what. You have to show up, even if you just sit out on the side. All that matters is that you show up. Those people force themselves to show up and they've never once sit out. They do way, way better. The 2-minute drill is like the first step towards that. So the 2-minute drill for eating broccoli would be that I cook it and I prepare it and I set it on the table. If I still don't eat it, then I still don't eat it. Whatever. If I'm going for the walk before and after with the timer goes off. I put my shoes on, I get my change, I go outside, I meet my friend, I go that far. That's just the first 2 minutes. And you specify what the 2-minute line is. You know how we specified success and failure? What's the 2-minute drill leaving my house to go to the gym? It's to change my clothes, put my shoes on, go outside and turn on my car. That's my 2-minute drill. If I complete the 2-minute drill, I have the freedom to make a modification. If I don't complete the 2-minute drill, I don't. That's the pass failure. That's the 2-minute drill. Specified. It needs to be written down per thing that we're working on. Now, if I need to work on all 6 of my 7s, I'd have a lot. I'd probably shrink it, which we will in a minute. But if I only have 2 of the 7s I need to work on, then I only need 2 2-minute drills. Connect the loops, which I already talked about. So you want to connect these to things you're already doing. I'm already brushing my teeth, so I'll drink water when I brush my teeth. I'm already eating lunch, so I'll do my walking at my lunch, and I'll drink water or I'll drink a shake at my lunch. I'll eat broccoli at dinner because I already eat dinner. What things are you already doing that you can attach the new habit to? You're not swapping, you're not replacing, you're just combining the two so that the triggers and the rewards become the same. In theory, you could take 2 Big Macs for lunch every day, start with 1 bite of broccoli, and have a slow trend where I do 1 bite of broccoli and 2 Big Macs, and eventually increase the broccoli, decrease the Big Macs, and eventually the broccoli would give the same salivation and then reward and taste and everything that you want that the Big Macs were giving you. Now, that's never been applied in that much depth, but in theory, that's how it would work. It would probably be a lot easier. That's what I mean, connecting the loops. We'd pick those loops. Apply the 25 and 5. This means write down the top 25 things that you have as goals for health and for fitness. I want to be this weight, this size. I want to look like this. I want to be able to do this. Write all of them. Or the 25 things that you need to change to get there. Whatever. Pick one or the other. Probably not both. Doesn't matter. Once you make that full list of 25, rank the top 5 most important. So either the top 5 most important goals to you or the top 5 most important things that you need to change. Once you specify the top 5, you take the other 20 and you say, don't do this ever under any circumstances, no matter what, until the top 5 are done. So if my top 5 things are fix my sleep, eat my vegetables, show up at the gym, drink my water, and hit my protein, any other goal and change that I have outside of that, you don't do until those first 5 are in place. And if my top 5 goals are to be this body weight, fit into this clothes for this particular event, everything revolves around that until that job is accomplished. Then we create the next list and the next goals. But when you actually clarify is don't do this under any circumstances, you stop wasting time on the things that are less effective. And you spend more time on the things that would be more effective. One of the obvious examples that all of you have probably personally experienced because you've made this mistake, I have too 1,000,000 times, it's no big deal. And you see everyone else doing it at the same time. You want to lose weight. Your top priority is to get your body weight down, tone up your body. So you go to the gym every day, or you do more at the gym and more cardio and more days at the gym and work out harder. But you don't drink more water, you don't get more sleep, you don't eat any vegetables, you don't eat good protein, you don't fix your diet. All of those things jumped up above the top priority and you spend a ton of time on the things that didn't matter. This goes to ruthlessly eliminate. Anything that's not an absolute top priority, destroy it, eliminate it completely. That I wrote here, you have a priority, not multiple priorities. The number 1 of your top 5 is the priority. Numbers 2, 3, 4, and 5 probably funnel towards number 1. Eliminate all the things that are not there. And then decisions. Ruthlessly eliminate the number of decisions you need to make. A lot of time we just have ego fatigue and willpower depletion when we know we need to eat healthy and we go out to dinner with friends and there's too many options, we bail completely instead of making good decisions. So we decide what we're going to do when we're going to do it. So I'm going to go to the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6:30. I'm going to eat this exact meal of vegetables while I cook dinner on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Eliminate the decisions, pre-make them in the moments when you can. That might have been, yep, there you go. That is the clearest first steps to build an unbelievable solid foundation if any of those things are missing. If you're successful in all of them already, then we would reapply this exact drill with the next phase. But until all of those are in place, it doesn't matter. And the reason is because it makes bad decisions harder. And it links this stuff to what you're currently doing, which will give you the same reward as the bad decisions. So you'll feel great about what you're doing as it builds up, and then it makes the harder or the bad decisions harder. So here's a simple example. I eat nothing but terrible fried food and carbs every day for dinner. But I started adding good protein and vegetables at the start of that meal, and then I have that meal. So I still get the reward and it feels good. But at what point does the lean protein, healthy fat, and boatload of vegetables fill you up enough that you can't stuff your face with fried food? It starts to happen sooner and sooner. Now, if I ate 400 grams of vegetables, or like 4 cups of vegetables, 6 to 10 ounces of a lean protein with a healthy fat next to it, it doesn't really matter what I do after that because my stomach physically cannot fit the stuff in there. And I feel so good from the good stuff because everybody does, and it's already giving me the reward that I don't need the bad stuff. Then I start to really feel how bad the bad stuff is, which makes it less likely to happen. So this is simply tipping the odds in your favor one small play at a time versus giving you strict rules that don't apply, giving you a script that doesn't work and fit with what you are, makes you do things that you don't like. Now, again, all of you have experienced this in your lifetime. People prioritize freedom above anything else. If I said, hey guys, stop eating bread, never eat bread again, you're all going to crave bread for a long time. And then you're likely to work out a little bit harder and then go eat the bread just because I told you not to. You're like, nah, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to show you how I can do it just because I told you not to. If I take a freedom from you, you want it more than ever, even if you didn't even know it existed, which is the craziest part. If you've never had bread before in your life and I tell you, hey, you can never have bread again, the craving starts in people. It's just a weird psychological process. This doesn't take any freedoms away from you. It's infinitely modifiable. It's small enough that it can be applied everywhere. And all you're doing is adding a positive without having to eliminate negatives, which is also a much easier thing to do for people. Does that make sense? Excellent. So that's the clear first steps. If you're not sure what your first step should be, right now is the time for a quick Q&A before I have to jump off of here. So you guys have any questions about it at all? Okay, you guys are great too. This is such a good group. Here's what you're going to do for me. Here's your homework assignment that I'm giving to everybody. You are going to determine which of the 7s you need to improve on or fix. Any of them that you're missing need to be addressed first. You're going to set those up. You're going to determine the pass, fail. So what is a successful day and what's the line that would be, I completely failed, I need to give up. Then you're going to create your scoreboard, which is the one I showed you guys. You're going to do the 2-minute drill script, the new identity that you're going to share with me, and then your 25 and 5, ruthlessly eliminated down to 5. And then any environment tweaks that you've made to design your environment, you'll share those with me. And you'll have a full week to write a bunch of notes down. And if it sounds like a lot, as soon as you write it down, it's all going to be on like one piece of paper. It's really not much at all. That's when you'll go, oh shit, that is easy. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to
Questions?
upload this talk?
I'm going to upload the talk and the slides tomorrow morning. So it'll process overnight.
I
I'll
was
load it in the
writing as
morning.
fast as I could, but
Yeah, I'm going to load it up so you can go back and watch it.
perfect.
I'm going to post the slides, and then tomorrow morning, I hope, I'm going to share all of the homework assignment. I'm going to share my work so everybody can see what I did. And And then you'll be able to ask questions on Facebook or text or whatever before next week. When
Yeah, I
we,
already know what my first one is. So
what is it?
sleep.
Yeah,
I know that, you know,
that's a keystone habit for me personally.
me
When I
too.
get enough sleep, everything's super easy. When I don't, everything is super hard. So
Yes.
that's one of mine.
Yeah. Yep. So that's my first thing I'm going to conquer is sleep. And I don't have a TV in my room, but I do take my phone for my alarm clock. I may have to get a different alarm clock that's not my phone.
You could get, probably from the dollar store actually, a little plastic one that gets a battery
Yeah.
that you turn the dial, and it's one of the circular clocks.
The old
And
fashioned.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that's because I do take this up and I end up browsing and in bed, but I refuse to have a TV because I know that's a problem, you know,
Yes.
for me.
Eliminating the phone. Yeah. Eliminating the phone and swapping the browsing time with
Yeah.
something else positive, like a gratitude journal or reading a book or a nice hot shower. Any of those things would have a massive level of improvement. Awesome. I love it. All right. I'm going to finish up my evening with the family. I'll load this in the morning. I'll chat with all of you tomorrow and next week, and we'll continue to go from there.
Okay.
That's good.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, guys. Have a good night.
You too. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.